Rachel Zegler is truly the gift that keeps on giving. She cannot stop causing drama for Disney for 5 minutes straight, and now we're finding out that not only is she firing back at Snow White fan criticism on social media, but there are actors coming forward who are admitting that Disney scaled back their premieres because they were afraid of her causing more damage. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, there really isn't too much more damage that Rachel Zegler could do to this film at this point, right? She would have to say something completely disgusting in order to ruin the image of this film even further, and she's not going to go that far because she's working with Disney and they gave her a big fancy new PR team that I guess is doing their job when it comes to the interviews, the few that Disney has her doing, but she just cannot keep herself from social media drama because now she is firing back at criticism online. So it says Rachel Zegler has finally broken her silence, but not about the massive controversy surrounding Snow White. Instead, she actually chose to fire back at a social media user who questioned her vocal abilities, completely sidestepping the backlash over her past statements, the film's radical changes, and Disney's ongoing PR struggles. Now, I get that with every single live action adaptations Disney done, they've all been slightly different from the source material, but this is a total departure. It's not like, oh, they added one or two more new songs and they slightly changed one or two scenes. No, it's a total reboot, which is why so many people were upset from the get-go. And instead of just saying something, right, that would have made her look like the bigger person. Like, I know that this isn't going to please everyone, but I'm just so grateful for this opportunity, and I hope that so many of you will give this a chance and really see the creative vision that we had and how it came together. She went, oh, well, the old film was outdated and we needed to modernize it, and the prince was a creep and it was really weird. Like, she responded in the worst way possible, and it hasn't helped her image or this film's image, and she really just does not know how to, I guess, subdue her thumbs, right, to keep herself from social media or responding to threads online, because her reaction came after a recent Snow White event in Spain where she performed Waiting on a Wish in front of a castle, the real-life inspiration for the animated film, which is cool. But you would think a week before the release, she wouldn't be back online attacking people. It has been months since she said anything super controversial, and it seemed that Disney was really keeping her under tight grips, that they were really trying to help this movie's image in any way possible, and that was just by telling Rachel Zegler to shut up, but she could not help herself. So when Disney shared a clip of the performance on Instagram, one user commented, "No thanks, Disney wasn't so difficult to cast a soprano." Rather than ignoring the remark, Zegler snapped back with a self-promotional response of, "I am a soprano," she insisted. West Side Story is now streaming on Disney+. Now, I have never thought that this voice that she has was like a good decision for Snow White, because Snow White was, yes, always very feminine and very light and kind of airy. And Rachel Zegler is a classic Broadway actress. And what I mean by that is that her voice is not bad. It's just that she belts everything that she sings, and her voice is very strong and punchy, and it is just the complete opposite of Snow White. She still could have responded in a way that was like, well, again, this is a reimagining, and I just happen to have the best voice out of the contestants or something like that, but she didn't. And of course, Zegler did win a Golden Globe for her role as Maria in West Side Story. The 2021 Spielberg-directed musical was a complete commercial failure, grossing just $76 million worldwide against a $100 million budget, and I think we are going to see a similar thing happen with Snow White. I don't think that it is going to make $0. I do think that there are plenty of parents bringing their children, or the Disney adults who are lifelong fans who want to give it a chance, but I think an average movie goer is not going to go and see this the way that maybe they saw like Aladdin, because they thought that it looked lighthearted and fun in a couple of hours, worth of entertainment, I think that this movie is just not going to do all that good. From what we understand, it had around a $250 million production budget, and they're adding $150 million to that for marketing. These are just reports, take them with a grain of salt, right? But that would mean that Disney most likely wants to make 800 million up to a billion for them to actually feel confident in this film actually being made. But I just don't think it's going to get even close to that. And of course, we have to ask the question, why is this the battle that she picked, right? Since her post-election meltdown when she declared on Instagram that President Trump and his supporters should never know peace, Zegler has largely remained silent outside of carefully controlled PR statements, which definitely is true. But it just seems that she could not help herself when it comes to fighting back, because over the past couple of weeks, the backlash has definitely been reignited because we're so close to the launch. But not only is this happening, we also have an actor admitting that Disney scaled back the movie premiere due to the fear of Rachel Zegler controversies, which isn't groundbreaking information, but it is still very interesting. So Martin Kleba, who voices Grumpy in the film, revealed that the studio scaled back the events over fears of backlash. However, despite the criticism of Disney's handling of the Seven Dwarfs, he also repeated the studio's talking points that they always intended to use motion capture animation for the characters, a claim that directly contradicts previous reports, leaked set photos, and even past statements from Disney itself. I was always most bothered by this because they could have cast 7 little people. They could have cast 7 people who would have fit better into this role, but instead they decided to go for these CGI dwarves, which really are not much smaller than Rachel Zegler herself. It just feels like a very bizarre decision, at least in my opinion. It's fine to have some CGI throughout a film like this, right? For the animals and the birds and the bees and the rainbows and maybe enhancings to the dresses, but you could have easily cast 7 people for these roles. Therefore, you should have never went for this, like, in my opinion, a really overdone dwarf look. And I know a lot of people have criticized, especially dwarf actors themselves. There has been so many of them who have come out and said, we don't get enough opportunities at roles in films this big in general, never mind just ignoring our existence because one actor, Peter Dinklage, had said, oh, you shouldn't go in this direction because it's offensive. You'd think that he would want as many people that look like him as possible to be in entertainment, but I guess that's not the case. So right now, Disney is just trying to make it to the finish line. They've got about a week left until this movie comes out, and again, I don't think that it's going to be a total flop, but I also don't think that it is going to make the $1 billion that they're probably hoping. So I'm sure I'll be talking about this movie over the next couple of days more, but for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.